What's up, everybody? It's Sean. Welcome to the Spooky Horror Show. I'm hosting again tonight. I got Anthony here. Anthony,
Yo.
what's up?
Same old shit.
Hello and welcome all to the Spooky Horror Show. Tonight we will be talking about Zombie 2, which is a 1979 Italian zombie film directed by Lucio Fulci. But before we get into that, Anthony, how has your week been?
Absolutely dog shit, but I don't want to get into that. I spent a good amount of my week trying to work on a car that pretty much, if you looked at it, something went wrong. Took 2 days to finally get it out of my bay, which I got paid 2 hours for. So I'm pretty upset about it.
Damn. I got my Steam Deck, so very happy about that. It's awesome. FedEx after, not FedEx. UPS. UPS after a week of hounding them finally found and delivered the package that I ordered a week late, but
Well, you never get good packages.
yeah.
You always have them messed up.
And we made our plans to go to Galveston so that we can stay at the haunted hotel, but also do stuff with the kiddo. And of course,
Doing stuff. Being chased by chainsaws and hatchets and stuff.
yeah, but of course, after what has it been, like 2.5, 3 months of straight over 100-degree weather, no rain, the entire week we're there, it's like 75% chance rain the entire time.
Say that.
And we are the hotel is like right on the beach. So
Oh man, really?
yeah, so it's like we were like, all right, we'll take care of the space center stuff, and then the next day we could just like hang out and do whatever. And then we look at it and it's like, oh, of course, well, I guess we can't go to the beach. I told the wife, I'll go, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll go in the rain. I'll go like into the water in the rain. I don't give a shit. And we have officially paid for Disney and Universal. We got all of that shit booked.
Hey, there you go.
So
Badass.
the kiddo's never been to any of it, so we're going, and we specifically chose this time because Disney has a more kid-friendly, I think it's called like Mickey's Haunted Halloween or something like that. It's kid-friendly. It's not so like spookums, and kids can go trick-or-treating.
Sold it up?
Yeah, but they can also go trick-or-treating.
Oh, well,
So he could wear a costume, no mask, and then get to go trick-or-treating, which is something
like
in...
frightening.
Yeah, but like in Texas, everything is so spread out that there's no real trick-or-treating. It's not like the East Coast where like whole neighborhoods like go out and it's a big thing. It's like half the time here, you got trunk or treat, and usually that's all filled with like church bullshit.
Oh, terrible pain.
So it's like, and then I remember the last time we went to one of the things around here for Halloween, they started playing like gospel music at like a Halloween party. And I was just like, no, we're not doing this ever again. Like, this is terrible. So we got that planned, but he also wants to do at Universal Halloween Horror Nights. So we're doing that too.
There, man.
Yeah, so we're doing that too. He's 10. He says he can handle it. They got a Killer Clowns from Outer Space thing. So
Cool.
I'm all for that. And the wife does not want to go into one of them because it's like, I think it's called Eaten Alive by Bugs. That's the name of the attraction. And I was like, no, we're going. We are going. But yeah, so that has been my week.
No.
It's like with that coming up at the end of like next month, I'm trying to get podcasts like planned out. As you just realized before we went live, yes, this is episode 14. We have done 14 of these things. So I'm trying to get that planned. I'm trying to get stuff ordered for the trips because all that's coming up. And in between all that, thankfully you were decided to go to the island last week, so I got a nice reprieve from everything.
Yeah.
I could take a little bit of a break. But now we're getting into
You
it.
need it.
No,
Always
no,
take a break.
gotta keep going. You see that? All my hustling. We're gonna get ads on our Spotify and shit. I can turn on fucking viewer donations so they can donate right to it and stuff for us and everything. If we could get to a good spot, I want to do like a Patreon. So we can use the Patreon to upgrade cameras and stuff like that, you know, so it's better. But yeah, it's You know, we just got to get to, most podcasts never make it to episode 100. That's like the big thing. So if we can get to episode 100, I do want to do like a bigger thing. I want to, I'll try to figure out something big, like a live stream ghost hunt or something like that. Because there's tons of haunted, creepy shit in Pennsylvania. Anyway, on to Zombie or Zombie 2 or any one of the 40 fucking names that this goddamn movie went by.
It does have a lot of names.
It's directed by Lucio Fulci and was adapted from an original screenplay by Dardano Sacchetti. It's all Italian names, so I'm gonna fucking butcher them. It was to serve as a sequel.
And you can tell that it's dubbed.
Oh, dude, there's a whole bunch of shit that goes into that. It serves as a sequel to George A. Romero's 1978 classic Dawn of the Dead.
Wait, are you real? Wait, is it a we can't see sequel?
No,
it's
no,
like a fan sequel.
No, legally you can.
Oh my god.
Yep, I could go into all of it. But yeah, that was from Dawn of the Dead was 1978. It was released in Italy with the title of Zombie with no E. Produced on a small budget of the budget was 410 million Italian lira. The film ended up earning 3 billion Italian lira. I don't fucking know. Not as much. I don't know. It was so controversial upon its release, I don't know why, in the United Kingdom, that it was listed as one of the video nasties. Filming began in June 1979.
Why?
Dude, I don't know.
That's insane.
It's back in the day, people were pussies. It's as simple as that. You know what? No, I won't even say people are pussies. It's probably like the Midwest conservative mom bullshit. It's that whole like
always the Karen
like
bullshit.
the moms. What is it? It's like it's the MPAA is like always like, oh, we can't upset the Midwest moms. Why? They don't bring anything to the table. Like no one in the Midwest does. What do you care if they're like, oh, we don't like it? All right, don't watch it. You take up like you're a nickel.
You don't have to support
like it's stupid. Filming began in June of 1979 and ended in July 1979. It was filmed in Latina. That's a great fucking Latina, Italy, New York City, and San Domingo. It stars Tissa Farrow, daughter of Australian director John Farrow and sister of Mia Farrow. Ian McCulloch? I don't know. Richard Johnson, Al Cliver, Oretta Gay, Stefania? Yes, Stefania. We'll go with Stefania de Armio and Olga Carlatos. Jesus Christ. That was such a fucking mouthful. Now that we're out of that, what are your spoiler-free thoughts?
I'm trying to sit here and scroll. I can't.
Oh, what the script?
Yeah, the script. Spoiler-free if you're a Romero fan. I mean, it goes with the basic premise of how he shoots. Like they really kind of try to keep it in his. I mean, he's earned his own genre, hasn't he? Like, I mean, it's basically
the Romero zombies, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they made that in the same aspect, so I respect it. Don't expect there to be a lot of shit going on. I feel there was a lot of dead space, a lot of overacting or shitty fucking acting involved in it that like kind of like peppered throughout this.
Yeah.
But outside that, I would throw it the fuck on while I'm doing something. I mean, that's what I was doing. I mean, I didn't sit. It's not a movie that if you sit and pay attention to, you're gonna fucking like love this movie. But if you're watching it, okay. Like Romero films, I could still to this day fully watch. Like even Black and White, Night and the Living Dead, I could fully watch that fucking film from start to finish without having to have something else. I would probably have like a video game playing on and watching this.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like the movie. For like a 70s film, I mean, it had just as much action as Romero's first fucking zombie film. And that was
Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, and that was boring as shit too. It's like I know everyone holds it as like a classic, but like Dawn of the Dead was better. And this one
was like later on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was better. And the what's his face? The James Gunn version is even way better. Not Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's version.
shit, I had to have seen that.
Yeah, it had
The
what's
Day
his
of the
face?
Dead or the Dawn of the Dead?
I think it was Dawn. Dawn is the mall, I think, right?
Yeah, it is, but
Wait, because see now I'm trying to remember. Is Dawn of the Dead the one in the
87?
bunker? Is Dawn of the Dead the bunker, or is that Day of the
no,
Dead?
That's Day of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead's the one that has
In the mall.
in it.
Yeah,
It starts off with the raid of that of the complex.
sure, man. It's been forever since I've seen those films. I just remember Zack Snyder's. I'm pretty sure it's Dawn of the Dead because it had that lounge singer that was
Richard Cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Snyder directed that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was either Snyder directed or James Gunn wrote it. It was one of those. I don't remember. Yeah, I like the film. The acting wasn't great.
I couldn't go like
but yeah,
halfway
but
or anything on that. It wasn't that great.
yeah, but it went fast. It's not like it was a slow moving long movie. Like that's
me.
But you have like ADHD. You have the attention span of like a gnat. So if like people aren't running around getting all hacked up all the time, it's like Jesus Christ, you got to move it along.
Yeah, because I like the gore.
Yeah. But no, like I liked it.
From The Void to this, I mean, The Void had a lot of shit in that fucking movie.
But again, this is also a 70s movie, so it's like when you're thinking about that, it had just as much action as every other 70s movie that's around. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre didn't have a whole lot of action. All that shit was off camera.
It really did it.
So it's all the same.
Shoot stuff that kind of gore back then.
So and it's like we got
like
some
smoke and mirrors and stuff.
Yeah, we got some good like gore effects. I think there were like 2 really good ones. Maybe 3, because the ankle one was pretty nasty too. Anything with ankles just grosses me out.
Oh, okay. The trachea in the eye one.
But yeah, I would definitely recommend someone see it. I can understand why this is like a cult classic. It makes sense why it would be held in regards as everyone else, but it's very low budget. I would say, especially with the zombie shark fight, which there is a connection with the zombie shark fight. The zombie verse shark fight. Let's clarify. The zombie verse shark fight. Yeah. There's even a reference to that in one of the Sharknado movies.
Well, that's well after it, but of course.
Because it's so iconic of like a thing. But I would say like watching that fight, you're like, oh man, Troma puts way more money into their shit than this. But again, you know what? Let me. What was it? It was 400. The budget was 410 lira, right? I don't know what inflation was back then, but 410 million Italian lira gives you $212,890.
Really? I told you it wasn't.
If you look at the script screen, it's there.
I told you.
Oh, that's awful. That's bad. Okay. So they did
cast. There was look at the fucking credit on the cast, dude. There's a lot of names behind the credit.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people had to get that chunk out of that. I mean, that wasn't a big fucking deal. But it's in Italy, so it might have technically been a lot for them.
But yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, I would say see it. It's one of those classics. Definitely get it if you're into zombie films. You've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, see it. Yeah. But yeah, you ready for some spoilers? If I could find the thing for it. All right, so the movie opens up with a man shooting what I'm guessing is a zombie in the head and declaring that the boat can now leave. We then cut to a title card. You'll find out this whole scene, which I think this opening scene is actually a later scene.
A flashback, right? Like,
yeah.
It's telling. It does. It doesn't. It seem like this is kind of like what happened.
It's like it's the same
with the boat, and then you go to the people that are looking for the guys that were on the boat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Because it's like, because right here it goes, he shoots the zombie in the head. He goes, the boat can now leave. And then it cuts to a title card, and then it cuts right back to a boat abandoned, floating adrift in the New York harbor, which nowadays that would not fly.
Yeah.
The boat is almost demolished by the Staten Island ferry, which is fucking hilarious. Like, it got too close and that horn just fucking
all the time.
yeah, they fucking honked the shit out of it. I'm pretty sure that they did not pay for these shots. I'm pretty sure like they brought their boat into harbor, because you can bring your boat, but then they just like let it float around a little bit, and because it's like people didn't seem too happy about it. So but the boat is boarded by 2 harbor patrolmen that are actually dressed like New York City cops, because they were off-duty New York City cops, even though they're called patrolmen. Harbor patrolman. One patrolman checks downstairs and finds the place covered in trash and rotten food, while the other is on deck and gets covered in the sails in some comedy fucking skit thing. I don't know. But then that patrolman that's on deck goes below deck to check on his partner and finds a severed hand that's like decomposing and half eaten. And then a hidden zombie bursts through the wall and kills him. While he's screaming for help, his partner, who's just below deck, that is now somehow above deck, then goes back down. But the whole time, I'm completely fucking thrown off, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's on a boat, you could go one way. He never came back up.
Go one way.
How did he get back up? He would have had to pass him.
Would have passed the dude. No.
Partner is now above deck and then goes to see what's going on, but now he's messing around with the sail. And I checked to make sure that like I didn't fuck this up. Because now that one is, that cop is dicking around with the sail. So I was like, oh, maybe it was him that had the sail dropped on him. But when I rewound it, no, it was the younger cop that had the sail dropped on him. But now it's the older cop that has a sail, and he's like fucking around with the sail. So it's like, how did both of them get the sail dropped on them?
Line up. Like,
it's just so fucking
shoot shit that they're like, it's like they forgot who they were shooting in the previous scene.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's you just sit there and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. The zombie comes stumbling up the stairs and shambling towards the cop that was down there that's now up. He shoots the zombie and then he falls overboard, and then the dead patrolman's body is taken to the morgue. I was like, okay.
Patrolman.
The newspaper is alerted to the incident at the harbor, and British journalist Peter West, played by Ian McCulloch. He's given the job to investigate. Anne Bowles, played by Tissa Farrow, she's questioned by the police as the boat belonged to her father. She claims he was conducting research on Matul. I think it was Matul. It's a Caribbean island, and she hasn't spoken to him in 3 months. That night, Anne sneaks back onto the boat to look for clues, but is surprised by West. They learn from letters on the boat that were addressed to Anne that this reporter is just like took from her and is reading with her standing right there. So it seemed like she was learning for the first time as he's reading these letters to his editor. That's why she just has this like vacant stare like out as he's reading them. But yeah, so her father is suffering from some strange illness on that island.
Was suffering it.
Yeah. So he's there trying to get better. Reaching for the letter, Anne knocks over. No. Okay, wait. So they find the letter. Okay. They don't read the letter yet. They find the letter. She's like, "Get me!" She knocks over the lantern, and it alerts a cop sitting on a deck. Dude. That would never fucking happen. They knocked over a lantern on a ship in the harbor of New York City. There's a cop above deck over on the docks, sitting in his car with his radio on.
Gonna fucking hear that.
He would never hear that lantern fall. It would never fucking happen.
Do you know how it is? The water.
Yeah. Just the water alone. It's no. But to trick the cop into letting them go, they pretend to be acting like they were trying to fuck. They then call the dude after they get off the boat. They call the editor, and that's kind of when she finds out that like her father was sick. He was writing these letters to her and everything, and they're like, all right, we're gonna go to the Caribbean and figure this shit out. So they fly to the Caribbean to find her father. After paying the cab driver for info on renting a boat, they hire Brian Hull, played by Al Cliver, and his girlfriend Susan Barrett, played by Oretta Gay, to use their boats to reach Matul. When I saw her, I was like, When like she turned around, she smiled. I was like, hey, yo, what's up? You're cute. Later, you get to see her boobies. And that, like, I don't know, like, did they have like thong bathing suits like that in the 70s? Because that was like the skimpiest fucking thong.
Back then, I don't think they did, and I'm very surprised it wasn't an animal size of trunk of fur coming out of all ends of it. Like, I mean, when it was, you know what I mean? It was
weird.
Not time period-ish. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But then again, you gotta remember, they're technically, they're saying, they're doing that scene in the New York harbor or something.
Which one?
This is going towards.
This is in the Caribbean. This is in the Caribbean.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't actually know. We know in the United States in the 70s and 80s that wasn't a fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was
back
like
then they might.
It was like the skimpiest thing. It looked like she was wearing fucking floss.
Does that shit with your titties hanging out? I'd be afraid something would grab a nipple or something. That's not.
Well, I mean, they're experienced divers, so I mean, it you know. I'm sure it's like whatever.
I don't know a thing about fucking diving. I just don't think being naked doing it would be a good idea.
Yeah, plus it's not like they're really going all that deep. It seems more like she goes a little deep, but for the most part, it's like it looks like you can stand on the sea floor and like kick yourself back up like you're in a pool. So like it didn't look like it was that deep, but they are in the ocean. While on Matul, British doctor David Menard, played by Richard Johnson, and his wife Paula, played by Olga Karlatos, have been researching the phenomenon of zombie reanimation. David is trying to reach Guadalupe 1 with no success. They never really explain what the fuck Guadalupe 1 is, but whatever. Paula wants to leave, and Menard just keeps insisting that they stay. Then Paula gets trashed. Like, I guess that's like she has nothing else to do, so she's just getting fucking drunk. And then David leaves, telling her he has to go to the hospital. And it's just like the whole thing was like really weird and didn't really seem like they wanted to be there at all. Because he's leaving so fast to go back to the hospital, Paula knows that they found another zombie and wants to know how close it was. Which, when you know that there's shit going on, yeah, like I want to know how close it is. Do I need to be fucking worried about it?
Yeah. Am I gonna get fucking eaten?
Yeah. He tells her it was on the other side of the island, not to worry. Then she freaks out. Yeah, but then she freaks out, and he tells her she shouldn't be drinking so much, and then then she starts talking all conspiracies and shit, and how she's not crazy. She knows what he's doing.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah. She knows what he's doing and will tell the whole world about it, and that he's crazy. And then he smacks the fucking shit out of her. This is where we need to take a little break. This is an old movie, so I can give it a little bit of a pass. Not much, but a little.
It's not that they were giving it a pass.
No, not about the hit.
Like...
I hate in these in all movies when someone is like, oh, this person is evil, and you kind of get the feeling that Menard probably isn't the best guy.
Yeah.
But I hate in all these movies, in real life, no one would ever go, I'm gonna fucking tell the world that you're evil and you're doing all this shit. You want to know why? Because they'll fucking kill you.
Yes,
they'll fucking kill you.
No one fucking does this.
Her death was very 70s though, especially regarding the part of her eyes. Yeah. So yeah, it's.
Oh, okay. I could see you definitely would probably.
Why would you ever talk to a person like you're insinuating is evil and crazy and a real bad guy like this? Like it doesn't make sense. If he is as bad as she's saying, wouldn't he just kill her to stay silent? Because you're on an isolated island. He could kill her and make her disappear and then just be like, oh, the fucking zombie bit her, so I shot her in the head and everything. Like, and then it's done. And it's like, you know, as his wife, like, you know all this shit's going on. So why are you putting yourself in the crosshairs? You want to get off the island. Just fucking bide your time. Fucking pay attention to how shit's going and like fucking sneak off. Hop on a boat that's going somewhere. Like anything. Why are you like trying to pick fights with someone that you're like, you're evil, you're crazy? It's stupid and I hate it. And it leads more into later on, which I think we only have like a little bit left to get to like her whole thing, which is just fucking stupid. Approaching Matul, Susan begs Brian to stop the boat so she can scuba dive and take some pictures. Susan whips her titties out and puts on a scuba tank in the smallest thong I've ever seen in my life, and then just dives into the ocean. She's swimming around for a while, and I'll go into a little bit later my stance on nudity again. And then a zombie comes, and I feel like she goes up and she's like, there's a zombie, not a zombie, a shark. And she comes up and she's like, there's a shark and I'll go back down. And then she goes back underwater. And I'm like, that didn't make any fucking sense. What? There's a shark in the water, just swim to the boat. Why are you going back underwater? That, like, what are you doing? And then while she's like,
he was under there for a while too. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say that scuba divers can't do that, but like she kept
yeah.
putting it off. I was like,
yeah. But yeah, so she's trying to like hide behind like a rock or something away from the shark. It's like, sure. While Brian,
let's back up on real quick on that. I mean, I haven't watched fucking Shark Week in like a decade, but like I could have swore it would. I mean, they smell blood, but wouldn't they smell the woman? Like, wouldn't they? I know they're not like exactly the best of seeing in the water, but how the fuck that thing just swim right past that bitch and didn't get her in the rock?
What do you mean? Yeah, they smell blood, but I don't know what you're talking about. She's not on her period.
Well, no fucking shit. That's Barry. What I'm saying to you is she's hiding in the rocks. Remember the scene? She's trying to fucking duck down in between the rocks where the
Did she cut herself?
Shark goes over her face.
Yeah, but if she, it would smell blood. If she doesn't cut herself, it's not going to go after her.
That's what I was asking. I was like,
yeah. She would have to be like splashing around in above water to seem like an injured fish, and everything.
Shark attacks are fucking bullshit.
But yeah, so she goes up, she tells Brian, hey, there's a shark, I'm gonna go back down, and then goes back down into the water, and Brian starts like shooting into the ocean to like shoot the shark or something. She's hiding behind a rock.
Absolutely be a terrible shot.
She goes to hide behind a rock or a reef, I don't know, and a zombie comes out and like tries to grab her and is like trying to grab at her and everything. But the makeup looks really bad, but I don't know how the makeup can look good when they're fucking underwater. Like that shit's just like coming off at the seams. She fights off the zombie, surfaces to the water, gets back onto the boat, and then the scene of the zombie and the shark fighting went on for entirely too long.
Dude,
I was like, fuck, are we done yet? It was like a 10-minute sequence.
Movie where it was they eventually started getting consciousness. It was the one with the fucking guy that played the Punisher. He was in it.
Deep Blue Sea.
No, it was a zombie Romero movie where they were starting to get conscious. They started walking through they walked all the way through the fucking
fuck, City of the Dead. Fuck, what is it called? John Leguizamo's in it.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that one because I like anything John Leguizamo's in.
I love that one. Yes, I love that, man. The Pest was great. Fuck, I can't remember it.
But no,
fuck it.
I remember. But yeah, this whole scene goes on for like entirely too fucking long.
That's what it was. Those zombies make sense. They had a consciousness where they kind of move. They shot guns. They could kind of do that. This fucking zombie's in the middle of the goddamn ocean. All right, hasn't had nobody picking at him and eating him.
He's just like shit's falling off of him.
And the mask looks fucking terrible. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'm sure it looked better, and then like they went into the water and then it came off. But yeah, like the battle was like weird and like he's like fighting the shark, and then at one point it looks like he's like, I'm biting the shark, and then the shark swims away and there's no bite mark on him, and then the shark comes back and then like bites off his arm and he's like and pushes him away, but then he has his arm back. Even though the shark, it was weird. I have like facts about that later, but yeah, it's all weird. If it was a quarter of the actual length that it would have been cool. But back then they just do these really long shots instead of like fast-paced shots. So yeah, it's whatever. That night, this is where we're gonna get into some nudity issues I have. So that night, Paola is alone in the house and she's taking a shower in what apparently looks like a shower made of fucking mirrors. It's either a window or mirrors everywhere. Did you notice that?
It's probably mirrors, to be 100% honest with you. Think about that. That time period was mirrors everywhere. On the fucking ceiling, on the goddamn, it's fucking.
While she's like just showering in like the most awkward fucking thing, of course she's naked. When Menard, her husband, left, he left one guard there. She's like, I don't feel safe. And he's like, well, I'll leave a guard. So the guard and his dog are there. They leave. They're gone. They heard a noise and they just walked away. I've said my stance on nudity in films. I love nudity. Nudity's great. Male nudity, female nudity. I don't give a shit. Nudity's nudity. So long as it serves a purpose, I fucking love it. It's great. as a hetero, like a hetero, like straight male and everything, like boobies, a great pair of boobies in a film can make or break a bad film and everything.
No, you know what? I'm not even gonna fucking deny that one.
However, there needs to be a reason for it. Slumber Party Massacre, the nudity that was in it, and there was quite a bit, the nudity in that made sense. What was her name?
Well,
Susan?
Implied to the name.
Yeah, but Susan going scuba diving topless.
Oh,
kind of makes
no
sense.
Fucking idea why in the world that.
It kind of.
I mean, it didn't make sense to me.
You know, Susan swimming topless in the Bahamas, even if it's scuba diving, it's fine. It makes sense. Fucking women do that all the time. Like we've seen it. So it's like that makes sense. You would think that I'd be like, oh well, Paula is taking a shower, so her being nudist, fine.
What?
Maybe I don't know. Like maybe if she was crying in the shower or getting drunk in the bath, something story related. This is just like, hey, get in the shower, take your tits out, because she doesn't do anything. There's nothing that progresses the story, and it gets even better because after she's finished, she gets out of the shower, and then she just stands there. She just stands there naked, and then huffs.
Yeah, no,
and then walks into the other room.
It's just gratuitous at that point.
It didn't make any sense. She gets out of the shower after showing her tits. She then gets there and I'm pretty sure it was like a low angle shot, and she's just standing there, just staring out into nothing. And then
maybe she forgot her lines.
And then walks away. It's like there was no fucking reason for that scene. Like you didn't have to show any of that.
Did you notice her eyes looked all fucking like she was all cracked out?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, maybe if she was crying,
random pill bottle, she looks just like, all right.
Yeah, like maybe if she was crying because she wants to leave and her husband smacked her and stuff, or she's further getting drunk, so it's like, you know, there's whatever, so she's just being sloppy about it and like is possibly gonna try to get like the dude to come in or something, like anything. But this is just like, hey, just stand there, don't really do anything, just have your tits out. And then it's like, okay, well, your shower's done. Well, before you put your towel on, like stand right here. Just look off into space. It doesn't fucking matter. We don't care. We just want to see your tits. And then that's all that it was. And it's like, that's fucking stupid. It's like, I don't like it. If you're going to have nudity, make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense, just don't fucking have it. It's kind of like, what was it? It was the first, I think it was like the first movie I saw like male nudity in like major films was 28 Days Later.
No, wait, what about
that was the first film that I saw male junk in like a movie theater.
Oh really? When he's on the fucking table?
Yeah, and even it was like, oh, okay, that's fine, it's fucking dick, who gives a shit. But it's the fact that it didn't make sense that he's just sprawled out with his dick like that. It's like, well, he would be covered.
Like doing experiments. Well, no, they were awesome.
No, they weren't doing experiments on him.
He okay.
He was in like a car accident or something, and then
we're also reviewing a different movie.
I know, but it was like, even for that, it was like, okay, cool, fucking nudity, like whatever. But then it's like, it didn't make sense. That shit didn't make any fucking sense. So it's like, even in that, I have my fucking gripes with it. Anari God, and I think the guard is still there, yet no towel, no attempt of modesty. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, at least if she was trying
she's
to
a free spirit, you know.
But yeah, it's like,
she likes to
no,
she's
like super dead behind the eyes. But like, at least if like she was like, oh well, and first of all, the fucking guard that's left, it's like two completely different people. It's like, as he's leaving,
I swear they forget who's in the scene in like a great number of scenes in this movie, and they're like, fuck, who was this guy? Yeah. Go back to that X right there. I swear they forget who the fuck's in the scene.
Because like the dude that was originally there, the dude that when he walked down, he was talking to, he was a darker skinned guy. Like he looked like someone from the island. But then when it cut to the guard that's sitting there with the dog, that looked like a white dude. And I was like, okay, man, like whatever. But at least if like, because the guard was there, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck him because fuck my husband, nah, or whatever. So like she was doing that, and like she walked to the window to try to like get him. Okay, that would make sense. She's trying to like do something, but instead she just stands there like a zombie. She stands there like a fucking zombie. It's, I don't know. It annoys
She
me,
was preparing for her role as a
but whatever. The scene just
You sure?
seemed weird, especially the next scene. She's sitting at a makeup table and she sees something in the window, right? So she gets up to investigate. Nothing's there. But then her door is opening super slow.
I thought I missed something, like a zombie might have like went by the window or something. But that basically looked back and I'm like, did I not see something? My two.
Yeah, no, I don't think there was anything there.
There was nothing in that fucking
No.
scene. She's just going batshit. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching and I'm like, is that me? Am I like not paying attention?
No, I did not see a goddamn thing there. But then
Probably forgot the actor to go to the spot. That's what it probably
Yeah.
was.
She sees her door opening very slowly and she goes over to close it when a zombie tries to enter very slowly. She pushes the door shut and after struggling for a little bit, gets the door completely shut, cutting off the zombie's fingers. She then, I think, she goes to like barricade it and then, what is it? The zombie, we think everything's good and then the zombie breaks through with one of its arms and grabs Paola and drags her through the hole, but first it's like a super cool shot of like her getting closer and closer to that like shard of wood before like it pops and gets stuck in there and she's just dragged through the door and killed. The whole sequence goes on again way too fucking long, way too long. But the eye gouge gag was dope as fuck, and it like when they cut to like the side profile just as it went in, it's like they knew the perfect time to cut to the fake head.
For me,
What's the 70s?
For me, because yeah, but like anatomy wise, if your eye really was to be punctured like that, it would still have to bleed. Your cornea and your iris is still gonna have some sort of fluid inside of it, and it was so dry. But it's just because of the movie makeup.
Yeah, it was cool that like the whole time it looked like it was really her.
Fucking things.
Yeah, but it looked cool. Her going towards it like slowly and everything, and just getting like close and close and close to it. Where I was like, fuck, she looks like she's legit terrified. Like that is a real piece of wood that they're gonna like fucking jab in her eye. And then it's like at just the right moment, it's like you can kind of tell that it's like a mannequin face that it goes into, but then they cut right back to her. It's like it looked good. I loved it. Peter's tying off the anchor to the boat as it's adrift but close to shore. Brian and Susan, again topless because who needs a top, dive in to check what's wrong with the ship. They find out that it's the drive shaft that was damaged when the shark rammed into them. Because yes, that's also what happened. It went total Jaws and had this shark for some reason just ram into the boat instead of going after, you know, the people in the water, whatever. Can a boat break? Can you tell that a drive shaft is broken from outside the boat?
Drive shaft from a boat?
Yeah.
So it depends on what kind of boat it was. That one looked like they might have been like a V8 type style motor, but if they have the outboard motors, there's no fucking drive shaft there really. It's just gonna be on a propeller. So you could look at it outside, but you have to take apart the fucking engine.
Yeah, and the engine would be inside.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I'm like, how
the outboard engine
okay.
outside. Yeah.
Because they just went
that because it goes like the engine's on top, it goes down the bottom, and then comes out a propeller.
Because it's like they went underwater and then they came up was like, the drive shaft. I'm like, what? What? How? What are you talking about? I don't know much about boats, but it seemed weird. Menard, we now cut back to the island. Menard is woken up from his drunken stupor by his assistant, which I didn't know that was his assistant until I put subtitles on for the second watch. And it said assistant. I went, okay, assistant. To let him know another person has died and turned. When bringing the most recent dead body to the mass grave that a local is digging, the local tells him about rockets he's been seeing in the sky. And he's also been hearing them. I mean, again, it's the times, it's the 70s, but just making people of non-native English speaking lands just seem like fucking savages that don't know anything. It's fucking weird. You know, it's like there's boats coming to and from this island all the time. I'm pretty sure the locals know what a fucking flare is. You know? But
a flare? Are you kidding me? These people fucking have probably a billion of them.
Yeah, yet this one goes, I saw rockets in the sky. It's like, come on, man. So Menard says that he's gonna go and find out the source of the flares, and I guess in that scene was left on the cutting room floor when he like finds the people. You realize he's like, all right, I will go and find them, and then it cuts to him like driving with the people. There was no scene of him getting the people or finding the people off.
No.
It's just I will go check on it, and then he's in the car with them.
Everybody. We're
Yeah,
in the car.
like-
We're already going to the next fucking scene. There was
I
no
had-
walking into this.
I had to like rewind it a couple of times. Like, did I miss something? I'm not completely fucking sure. I feel like I missed something. It was completely cut out of the film. Him leaving to go find them and finding them offshore. He tells Anne about how he and his father met while they're in the car, how he got sick, and we find out that the zombie kill in the beginning of the film was Menard killing Anne's zombie father. So that kill from the absolute beginning of the film was in fact the kill from probably a week prior. If the boat is just like floating up there on its own, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so that's all from the beginning.
Yeah.
When we get back to camp or village, I don't fucking know what they're calling it. Menard is informed that one of his colleagues, Fritz, has been bitten and he needs to tend to him. So Menard sends his friends. Menard sends the group that he just got back to his mansion in order to call on his wife, because it's only her and the manservant. Those are all things that he said. I need you to go call on my wife. I'm not old enough to know what that means. Does that just mean check up on my wife, go get my wife, fuck my wife? Like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Call on my wife. Like, I'm not old enough. Do you have any idea?
Can you call on my wife?
Yeah.
I need to know where we are going.
Because he also uses, it's only
Like,
her.
check to see if my fucking wife's alive.
Yeah.
Like something like that.
It's like, but he also calls the
Throw a
dude that's
fucking penny
there
at her?
the manservant. Like, it could just be servant. Could be employee,
Very clearly
guard.
was a man.
Yeah.
Very
So it's
clearly
like,
was a man.
I don't know. He's British. He uses all weird words. Yeah. So they leave. Fritz tells Menard that he was bitten by a zombie in this specific village when there aren't supposed to be any zombies anywhere near this village. He orders the staff to lock all doors, and then zombies begin stumbling around the village, camp, town thing. I don't know. The boat group reaches Menard's mansion, but Paula isn't answering the door. West finds it weird, and they enter the house.
I got my knee. Keep going.
Oh, your knee. It looked like you're
got my
like
knee.
just scratching at your dick like you got fucking crabs.
Ah, man. I fucking smacked my kneecap off my fucking desk.
You gotta get yourself a standing desk, my guy.
Dude, you have no idea what the shit I do during the day.
But no, a standing desk is good. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can stand, you can sit.
Is standing actually kind of gets my lower back and hip all janky, so then I gotta sit, and then if I sit, my lower back's also just I'm all fucked up from this damn fucking
And
career choice.
And that is why, woo, you get yourself a standing desk so you can just switch it whenever you want.
It's like, whoa.
So Paula isn't answering the door. West finds that weird. I don't know why he'd find that weird. He doesn't know this fucking woman. So they just walk into the house. They find Paula's corpse being eaten by zombies, but wouldn't she have also been turned into a zombie at that point?
You would have thought so, but I guess they just kind of didn't do the homework on that one, or they didn't really give us a timeline of
Because the only
digestion or
the only way to kill them
the-
is either the bullet to the head or burning them, like just burning them down to bones, you know? So she wasn't shot in the head. She was eaten, but she would still come back to life as like a fucking like legless fucking monster and everything, no? That's why, like, when all of a sudden she's
Yeah.
there and she's not a zombie, like, I was like, that's fucking weird. Like, okay, sure. Guess they didn't have a script supervisor to keep an eye on this shit. I don't know.
Did they have it for these 3 or 4 other scenes where you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't the same fucking dude, and there's nothing in the background of that fucking scene. Like,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
there's a lot of imagination in this fucking film.
The group, really just West, fend off an attack against zombies, and they escape to the Jeep. At this point, Menard is killing all the zombies that are wrapped up. The group crashes the Jeep when Brian hits a zombie and veers off the road. The Jeep crashes into the woods, and somehow West suffers an ankle injury when they crashed, but I don't know how. He's just sitting there. His legs aren't doing anything, but somehow he hurts his ankle. Somehow the group is now on the coastline. They get out of the Jeep in the woods, in the middle of the woods, and then they start walking, and now they're on the coastline. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? And why wouldn't you just walk back to your fucking boat if you're already on the coastline? Wouldn't you just follow that to your boat? Instead, they turn around and they go walking into the fucking woods. I don't fucking.
But it's
man,
always
whatever.
a smarter idea when you're in the middle of a situation like this. Let's go further into a fucking woods that we have no idea about on an island.
But then Susan starts screaming into the air that she can't take anymore. They start to hear drums.
All about them.
Yeah, exactly. In our God, it's a small fucking island.
Small fucking island. Like,
Just walk the coastline. Be like, we're gonna chill here. We're
probably see
good.
the other fucking end of the goddamn island that
Yeah.
way. Like,
But yeah, she screams that as they hear drums in the distance. Now, I don't know if someone is playing the drums and they could hear it, or that's just supposed to be the music, you know? But the drums were happening, and then it's like she like looked around and then screamed, so I don't know. But then she buries her face in Brian's chest, and then it cuts back to Menard. We are almost done, and it's about to get weirder. Menard asks, I don't know what the main local dude's name is, what's going on and if he thinks it's voodoo. He says something about the dead rising and drinking blood, and Menard calls him crazy.
a
Like,
goddamn vampire.
yeah, but at the same time, like, what do you mean? Like, oh, you're crazy. It can't be voodoo. It's like, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is.
Doesn't matter if it's voodoo or not, motherfucker.
Dead people
eat
are
other
coming
people.
back to life and eating
Yeah.
people. Like, yeah, crazy already
I'm
happened.
sorry, something you see normally on this fucking island in your life?
The boat group is resting in a jungle clearing. The group realizes they've encountered a conquistador-era graveyard, or as Brian keeps saying, conquistadors. Did you realize that he kept saying the name that
Some
word
of us
wrong?
say shit a little odd, you little fuck, all right? Some of
It's-
the other day I'm saying ask, and everybody's like, I don't have an axe. What the fuck are you asking me? I'm like, you're an asshole, and you knew what I was fucking saying.
Yes, that's
People
fine.
like
that-
you are horrible.
But it's fine to go ask or ax. Let me ask you a question. Like, that's fine. That's still there. But the word is conquistador. Why is he saying conquistadors? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so they find the graveyard for the conquistadors. Anne and West start making out. This is the perfect time to, stick your tongue down some chick's throat. And then a hand reaches out of the ground and grabs Anne by the hair. And then another hand grabs West by the ankle. Brian rushes to help, leaving Susan alone. Susan is frozen in fear when another zombie rises from the earth, which is the zombie that you're seeing on screen for the Zombie 2 thing. That's that zombie. But yeah, he bites her throat out, killing her. It's her own damn fault.
I didn't mind. First off, why the fuck did she get that goddamn close to that motherfucker? Why wouldn't you start backing up a lot quicker than that?
This shit happens later too.
Yeah.
When it's like,
Do you take this seriously?
like I don't. It's like, don't run. It's like, no, I'm a run. They walk. I'm a run.
Zombie rules here, like.
Brian doesn't want to leave her, but West and Anne tell him that she's dead. There's nothing else they can do. And this is where I found out that Peter West has a giant bald spot on his head. The entire time, I thought he had like a full head of hair because they never really showed it. And then all of a sudden he's down. I was like, fuck, dude, you're missing half your hair. That girl is like 12 compared to you. What are you making out with her for? Stop that. Don't do that. Don't be Dane Cook. Get out of here.
Oh my god, dude. I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, please don't tell me my man from our childhood is really fucking thinking this is like an okay. Like, none of us aren't gonna do the math on that.
Oh, when did you
Like,
meet
she
her?
was
Oh, she was like
5.
16?
She was like 5 or some shit, and he was like 26. She's like, yeah. You're gonna be 18 soon. Like, that's fucking gross, bro. That is some fucking predatorial shit.
As they continue to the hospital, more corpses reanimate. I don't understand how this happens. Do like people have to pass over dead bodies for the dead bodies to start rising? Because it's like the whole time all these zombies are rising, but like this graveyard of zombies are just fine until these people show up, and then they're like, ugh. And so like, I don't get
It's
it.
a dormant state, I guess, but I mean,
Or because it's like,
kind of weird. Why wouldn't they have heard them rustling and then got up?
yeah, like I still don't
know?
fully understand what the voodoo curse would be. Is it just like, hey, we're gonna kill all you white people? Like, is that what the thing is? But it's like they're killing the locals there too, so it's like I don't know, because it's like,
I just
again,
think
like
the fucking
those
virus is
people,
gone.
those zombies
I don't know.
were fine, and then a bunch of white people showed up, and then they pop back up, so that's why I was like, I don't know. At the hospital, Menard is tending to West's ankle because apparently they got there, and explains that the dead are rising as a result of a voodoo curse which he's been trying to stop, even though he still hasn't admitted to the fact that it's a voodoo curse. It's science. It's got to be science. The hospital is besieged by zombies. They fend off a few stragglers getting in.
Besieged in this podcast.
Yeah, I know, right? They fend off a few stragglers getting in.
Shirt, bro. This ain't no goddamn like, ballroom dancing.
Sorry, I'm using my fucking SAT words. They fend off a few stragglers getting in and then start making Molotov cocktails. Kind of smart, but I mean, you're going to burn down the place that you're standing in. Whatever. Menard is in another room reloading a shotgun and is killed by a reanimated Fritz. How does he not hear it? Whatever. Brian kills the already dead Fritz, and a zombie wakes up in the Molotov cocktail room and kills the local guy whose name I never got. Then goes to kill Menard's assistant. Then Brian comes in and saves her because instead of running away, she just stands there screaming no. Why was she just standing there screaming? Like, the zombie was coming towards you and you didn't do anything. Like, what is that? So
honestly,
Brian
goes back down on the writers. The writers didn't say to anybody, but like, well, why would she just stand there in any of a zombie film? Who just stands there? Even in a panic state, you kind of do like that slowly, like,
yeah.
Oh no, it's gonna
At least
fucking eat me. No.
Yeah.
Like,
Instead, she just stood
running.
there up against the wall. No.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
Like, what are you doing, man? Fucking move, stupid.
she got eaten. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Brian tells her.
Eaten.
After killing that zombie, Brian tells her to grab more cocktails and leaves. As she grabs some supplies, the local reanimates and kills her. Suddenly, these zombies are reanimating super fucking quick. Do you realize that?
Oddly enough, it usually would take you like a little bit, or like you die. The dude on the we're not up to that point, but the dude on the boat that got bit had more of a turn.
Yeah, it like took fucking forever.
And then the other guys. Did you notice that through the whole movie was like I'm a zombie now.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. But like that one dude with the fucking arm ball bandaged up was like, I don't know yet. No, motherfucker. They all took 2 seconds. What was so special about you? I don't get this.
Plot armor. What's Inari God saying? That's why I thought the drums were a voodoo thing. The conquistadors got resurrected after the drums, but my thing is the curse. It's not an infection. Why does getting bit matter? Just...
My man just broke the whole plot apart. My man just broke the whole part right there. It makes no sense. If it's a fucking curse, it's just people turning into a zombie. And it wouldn't be a zombie. It would be like a mind-controlled person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are motherfuckers that are dead. Like they're flesh-eating deadite people.
I was gonna say flesh-eating flesh eaters. I don't know. Brian tells her to grab cocktails and then he leaves. She grabs the supplies, and then the local dude gets up and kills her. I was like, whatever. And goes to grab.
Do you have a gift in this fucking?
Yes, I do. I don't have a gift. I just have to think because I was like, I don't know how to write the thing that she does. So I have like the photo in it of like kind of what she does. So it's like while they're all standing, getting ready to like throw Molotov cocktails at these people, Anne goes to grab more supplies and is surprised by the local that just turned into a zombie and killed the assistant. And instead of running away, she backs away, turns, and goes, ugh. Instead of fucking like, what are you doing? Fucking, I hate her so much. I hate like, the guys aren't very smart in this, but the women are so fucking stupid in this movie.
They write them like that.
Yeah.
All those movies back then, they'd write them like that.
She's not getting out of the way. As the dead reach outside, Anne and Brian set the building on fire. As they run out to safety, the undead Susan suddenly is back, and she bites Brian, but is then shot in the head by West. Anne and West, along with an injured Brian, escape to the boat and leave the island. I don't remember if it was their boat, but if it's their boat, how did it get fixed? But wasn't it also a sailboat?
Point there. I never even thought about that. No. I think that boat had a motor on it.
Yeah. So if that was broken, how did it get fixed for them to?
Are you really questioning the fact that how the boat get fixed? Or how
Dude,
the dude that was
you know how I am with these movies. If I have to be critical, my brain doesn't shut off.
Scene, that same person turned into a white man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I know more about equality in the workplace, but when you make a person that's very clearly not the same pigment and make that the same character, like Bob just can't just take a fucking pill and just magically turn into fucking another color like this. And now you're questioning, is this the boat that we like saw was broken that they couldn't escape then, but now it's magically fixed now?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Zombies? Did the zombies come over and say, "Hey, listen, they got no oil. Let's
I got a new drive shaft."
Yeah, you know what I mean. Let's use my femur. We can do this. It'll fucking spin right. No. They took their 200,000 fucking lira, whatever the fuck they made with this thing, and said, "Hey, well, listen, we got to cut our loss."
I do want to know how much, what did they make? 4 billion lira or 3 billion lira? I want to know how much that is.
It was like $200,000.
Well, that was the 400,000 was like 200,000 US. But yeah, so Anne and Weston, along with an injured Brian, escape to the boat and they leave the island. At sea, Brian dies from his infection. As Anthony pointed out, it took a really long time for him to apparently die from it.
2 or 3 scenes? That's a couple of scenes.
And that's also supposed to be like it's over time because now they're traveling from Matul back to New York. So they're going from the Caribbean all up the East Coast to New York City. So like that happened over a while. They lock his body in a cabin to be used as evidence of what's happened. I don't know why. Like, why are you locking? Like, I would tie him up somewhere where he just can't get out. You know, like tie him to like the deck. And just like tie him up with all the ropes so like he can't wiggle anywhere. Yeah. He's just stuck up there. Throw a fucking tarp over him, and then when you get there, you can fucking deal with the shit. However, as the boat approaches New York, again, the radio broadcast reports that the city is under attack from zombies after the initial attack in the harbor. The final shot of the film is zombies shambling across what I think is the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes.
Right?
Can we stop real quick there?
What? Because of the regular car traffic?
Somebody, motherfucker, you are from New York and you know for a fact if we saw some shit like that, we would notice it. Driving or not. Somebody on the fucking ferry would have probably noticed that shit. Yeah. All the way down to the fucking by the terminal. You're from New York. You're observant as fuck. If not, you're probably gonna be
you
raped,
have to be
shot, stabbed, robbed, hit by a car. You mean to tell me nobody? And on top of that, you know for a fact there are the runners, the bikers, the dog walkers, the yentas, the Russian guys that always go back and forth with the tracksuits.
Yep.
That bridge is 100% packed at all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's like
there's zombies walking by.
Yeah. So my thing was like, no, like when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like, oh, there's the zombie apocalypse. The zombies, like they're showing that like they're leaving Manhattan and they're traveling across the Brooklyn Bridge. But it's like, they just listened to a news broadcast that zombies have taken over New York City. So how is there just like traffic on the lower level just passing as normal and everything? There were cars driving underneath. I was like, what the? You could have painted that out. Like during that time, there are ways to film that where that'll look empty and you still get your shot of them walking. But it was weird, man. And that is the end of Zombie 2, or whatever you want to call it, because it has a lot of names. Some fun facts of IMDb and a bunch of other places are to be believed. Like I said earlier, that this was a sequel to Dawn of the Dead. It is because Italian copyright.
I'm sorry, I'm fucking gonna do this, bro. You know how I am with fucking Romero.
Italian copyright law.
Do this.
Italian copyright law allows any film to be marketed as a sequel to another work. So producer Fabrizio De Angelis quickly greenlit and financed it under the name Zombie 2 to bank off the success of the European release of George A. Romero's 1978 film Dawn of the Dead, which was released in Europe as Zombie without an E because it was re-edited by Dario Argento. So Romero's original film wasn't even released in Europe at this time. It was a version.
Beg the question of how the fuck did they even know that then?
Well, because
so that was just like their version that came out and they just dubbed the name Zombie.
They took when Romero's film came over, Dario Argento took the film and he re-edited it and then changed the name to Zombie. And then Zombie was a success. So then they quickly made the sequel Zombie 2, and that's how it ends up becoming all that stuff. The film was written before Dawn of the Dead. It was released in Italy as an action-adventure thriller with no link to Romero's films. The opening and closing scenes, which take place in New York, were added to the script later when the producers wanted to cash in on the success of Dawn. So that wasn't even part of the original film. which goes in even further. Director Lucio Fulci was not producer Fabrizio De Angelis' first choice as a director. Originally, he wanted Enzo G. Castellari. Fulci was his second choice for the project based on how he handled the violent scenes in his previous film, Sette Note in Nero. And I cannot pronounce his other one, but in English, it's Don't Torture a Duckling. So he wasn't the first choice, but he ended up getting it because of that, because the other dude wanted no fucking part of it. The underwater.
I don't like this kind of shit.
Yeah, the underwater scene featuring the shark attack was devised by Ugo Tucci and was shot without the director's approval by Gianetto De Rossi and in Ilsa. Fuck, god damn it, Ilsa. In a place. In a place. I can't pronounce it. You can see the script. I don't know. Mures? Yeah.
That ain't gonna be done by Hook Don't Find a Cat.
I told you. Like, I don't know if that J is an H.
Nah, fuck that.
It was filmed somewhere, with the zombie being portrayed by the local shark trainer Ramon Bravo, which is a dope fucking name.
You beat me to it. You fucking Bravo. Fucker gets the fucking poon, all the fuck, or the dick, whatever he wants. He's like, I got it.
Renee Cardona
better look like Johnny Bravo.
Renee Cardona Jr. was originally cast to play the underwater zombie. However, he got sick at the last minute and was replaced by Ramon, the shark's trainer. Since there was no CG at the time and the production didn't have any budget for fancy animatronics, a real tiger shark was used for the infamous zombie versus shark fight scene. Yeah, that was a real shark. The tiger shark is one of the most dangerous shark species that exist, so the shark's trainer fed the shark right before filming, as well as doping it up with sedatives, so it wouldn't be as violent. I mean, you do what you gotta do, man. Like, I don't want to get bit by a shark if I have to do this scene.
That's a pretty big ass shark too. I'll be 100% honest with you.
Several.
I was like, this dude is down in this fucking thing fighting this shark with his shitty ass fucking makeup on. And I'm like, I don't know if this was even relevant to anything to do with the movie. You'd risk this man's life.
I like that.
You're gonna have to think he's...
Hey, Ramon, what do you do for a living? I train sharks. How the fuck you get that job? Several of the actors' contracts had specified being provided with trailers for the duration of production. However, none were present when filming started, and only Johnson...
Must be related to my boss at work.
Yeah, and
they say that they're gonna do something, but they're really just lying.
Only Johnson was able to convince the producer to provide one, and that was only because he had acted in films with him before and was friends with them. That's it.
Yeah, the hookup.
Yep. As shown in the trailer before the film was released, airline barf bags were handed out to theater moviegoers due to the unusually high amount of violence and gore for a horror film of that time.
So, like, what does that say to us as a society? Where like that was like.
People were fucking sheltered, bro.
That was like a PG movie to me.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Even
this is.
It really wasn't even like an overly scary movie.
PG-13 you know just because of the tits.
Oh, I forgot about the.
You keep forgetting about the tits. Like many Italian horror films of the time, half the cast spoke English and the other half only spoke Italian. Many Italian films produced for international distribution are filmed without sound and recorded several dialogue tracks in different languages in a studio later for overdubbing. Because the actors are speaking a number of different languages, or some are speaking a non-native language phonetically, the dubbing in all versions of the film is not 100% synchronized. That's why voices were like all fucked up, because they all filmed it later.
There were some scenes where I was watching them speak, and I'm like, with the dialogue back and forth, I'm like, wow, that's really fucking synced up. I'm like, are they doing like half like English, half Italian? I'm like, oh no, there it is. Okay. It was pretty good at some points. At least they kind of had that going.
Other points, it's just terrible. Yeah, and as an Origod pointed out about like us and like movies today, yes, we're desensitized as a society.
I mean, I'll 100% agree with that. 100%.
Ian McCulloch, Tisafaro, and Olga Carlitos and Stefania Diarmo, they were main English-speaking cast. Al Cliver, Oretta Gay, and Dakar, I don't know who the fuck Dakar is, but it's there. They were the main Italian-speaking cast. So even while they were together doing scenes, like nobody knew what the fuck each other was saying. So you just had your scripts and you just
tell. And you know what? And we applaud you for trying it.
Although the title Zombie 2 was given by the producers to cash in on Zombies, aka Dawn of the Dead European cut, Giordano Sacchetti based his script of Zombie 2, which I don't think was originally called Zombie 2, on Walked with a Zombie from 1943 and Voodoo Island from 1957 and The Walking Dead from
Romantic
1936,
comedy.
stating that he wanted to bring the zombie genre back to its Caribbean and voodoo roots. So
That is true, though.
this was originally never supposed to have anything to do with Dawn of the Dead or Romero or any of that shit. It was its own
That's why I
thing,
said that.
and then they cashed in on that. That's why they added the New York scenes.
If it was about a voodoo curse, no one has to be fucking bit for this.
Yeah. And here comes the thing that'll help you out. The makeup effects were done by renowned Italian Gianetto De Rossi. The makeup for the zombies was caked on several stages, and Lucio Fulci, the director, constantly referred to extras as walking flower pots. According to Ian McCulloch on the DVD commentary, the Harbor Patrol cops were actually off-duty policemen. The advantage was that no costumes were required, as they brought their own uniforms. And Richard Johnson, who played Menard, Dr. Menard, rewrote all of his own dialogue for the film. He wanted no part of
a fucking hot shot.
And that is the end of my fun facts. What are your spoiler reviews of this?
Okay. I thought it was a great throw-on film. I don't think it was one of those films that I would actually pay attention to. The graphics in it was perfect for the time period. This is the kind of movies I'll actually like. I don't really like a lot of the fucking makeup, like CGI crap we have now. I like that. As weird as it sounds to be a vegan, like they took like some meat from the fucking butcher shop and threw it on them. You know what I mean? You know, it looks realistic that way. You know, you don't have your CGI. The script was dog shit. I'm sorry. It didn't make it didn't make that much sense, because now that you said all this, it makes sense to me now.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense on the island factor. Like you didn't need the island. In fact, you could have probably did it still on an island in fucking Manhattan. There's like a million of them. It never made any sense. Yeah, if you're gonna throw boobies out there, can you give me like a fucking reason? Like, I mean, it doesn't make it. It's like the pizza man and the sex scene. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Ain't nobody answered the door and got their dick sucked because they delivered pizza. It doesn't happen. It's unrealistic. It's like you saying you get Hustler for the fucking for the stories.
Articles.
No, you don't. You get Penthouse or Playboy for that shit. You don't get Smut. I think it was a decent movie. Legitimately, it's something that you should have in your history of saying, yes, I did watch this as a horror or a zombie fanatic.
What would you give it?
I think given such bad ratings all the time. Oh, you know what? I'll give it like a.
I would give it a 3.
It's gonna give it a 4.
I'm giving it a 3 only because a couple of the effects were good, and the boobies. That's about it. 3 is still good. 3 is still watchable. So with this, you want to go 4 or 5?
I'll go with 4.
4.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right there with you. It's, even though I think it's a high 3, but the acting was fine based on the fact that half the cast didn't speak English and the other half didn't speak Italian. You know, so and the fact that they had to re-record all their dialogue later, that's kind of fucking ridiculous. Like I said, the effects are really good. If you didn't tell me this had anything to do with Romero's, I would never have assumed it.
Oh no, not at all. Because
it just seems like a Caribbean fucking thing.
But it does look like a bite off. It does.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to do their own thing, which is fine. Like you're taking the things that you like. It's whatever. I don't give a shit. But like the throat getting ripped out was
not down with that dialogue either.
Yeah, the throat getting ripped out was cool. Even though I hate ankle shit, West's ankle getting like all torn up and shit, that was pretty cool. The fucking eye gouge thing, that was awesome. Nudie scuba diver, always awesome. Even though I think Paola was more attractive, I didn't want to see her naked. I didn't feel there was a need for it, since it's whatever. But yeah, so yeah, I would definitely recommend people go watch this. It's a fun little watch. You don't need to watch it all the time unless you're really into it. Then yeah, sure, whatever.
It's an hour and 30-something minutes. It's like 32. It's definitely one of those things. If you're gonna clean, throw it in the background.
Dude. The podcast is sitting at an hour and 43 minutes. That's with all the fun facts, the banter in the beginning, the waiting for
banter, yeah.
And we're still just about the runtime of this movie. Like it's like
right.
it's a quick.
It was a scene by scene, yeah.
Yeah, it's a quick movie. It's fun. I'd watch it.
We're getting more pro at this podcast thing. You know?
And now you can see how I write everything in the other thing. So, but next week we will be
Ooh,
watching.
we got a fucking trailer, y'all.
Yep, this one there's no nudity in it,
I'm
so we
fucking-
can.
I
can
know, I
actually
couldn't
watch
show
it.
a single trailer. I kept telling my share, like, yo, there's like too much tits. I'm sorry. Like, there's
Yeah,
not
it
a
is.
single trailer without tits.
Every time you turn around,
I'd love
Susan
to let
just
you
has her
guys see
tits
the
out.
movies. I just can't do this. I could have to censor that out. Yeah.
Uh,
And I don't
but
have
yeah,
the skills to be doing that on the fly.
yeah. But so here is next week's video is going to be the house October built.
Yeah, but that looks like it's gonna be good though.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
We got ourselves a good one next week.
Including the clowns.
Too many clowns.
Too many fucking clowns.
I love that movie. I'm letting everyone know now. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's fun. It was made in 2014, but technically made in like 2012. They had to film it twice.
I'm the motherfucker. You better not like get too close with that jump scare, because I'm gonna fucking pop you all the time. Too many people at my fucking job love to walk up on me. See, I take my radio, I put it up on like where the cow is, and I work. So do you know what these idiots love to do? They pop their head in the fucking corner of the goddamn the corner of the engine bay. Every time I almost fall or some shit, scare the fuck out of me, almost hit them with something. Like, why wouldn't you like get my attention?
I don't know.
I'm doing shit with machines. Like, what the fuck, bro?
I'm a jump scare guy, so I don't know. Like I like to jump scare people, and
Oh, I love jump
I love to be
scares. I
jump
really do.
scared. And jump scares are the only scares that get me. Like I can watch really disturbing shit, which people have
yeah.
tried to get me to watch.
Scarily.
If you look up on YouTube, there's a YouTuber called Wendigoon. I think he's from like Alabama. He does a lot of that
Wait,
iceberg.
Wendigo as in
Wendigoon,
is that
like a Wendigo,
Wendigo?
but
Yes,
Wendigoon. He's a
I think
YouTuber
I know that person.
from Alabama, real Southern.
Yeah, but because I think I've seen him come up on the other
Yeah.
people that are on 76 and stuff had posted it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'll come up.
Yeah, he does a lot of like iceberg things where it's like he goes through like the different layers of like genres of stuff, and he's done the most like intense like horror movies and stuff on the internet. He's watched like the most disturbing videos, and people have tried to get me to watch them, and I'm fine with watching them, but like Wendigoon gets paid to do it, Mr. GG gets paid to do it, Amanda the Jedi gets paid to do it, I don't get paid to do it. If you guys want me to sit down and watch like a slew of us to watch a slew of fucking super disturbing fucking videos, we need to get paid for it. I ain't doing it for free.
I'm down with doing that kind of shit. We used to do that shit at fucking Pathmark. Yeah,
But
well, I'm gonna watch some fucked up shit. I ain't gonna waste my time with it until someone
Yeah.
hits that subscribe.
but this one, this is a fun movie. I enjoy this. I recommend everyone go watch it, especially for next week. But yeah, thank you everybody very much, and we will be live again next week.
Next time.
Bye.